And yeah, I mean, one of the most depressing lessons I got from 2020 is it seems like, in my opinion, that we over learn the lesson of our success and not of our failures. For example, like we have this narrative in our head that we always have the right person at the right time during crisis. And in some cases, it was true. We didn't deserve Lincoln. We didn't deserve FDR. We didn't deserve a lot of presidents at times of crisis. But then you're like, okay, George W. Bush, 9/11, that was terrible. Reconstruction, Andrew Johnson, awful, right? Like we had several periods in our history where the crisis was there, they were called and they did not show up. And it hadn't happened in my lifetime except for 9/11, and even then you could kind of see that as an opportunity for somebody like Obama to come in and fix it, but then he didn't do it, and then Trump didn't do it. And you realize, I feel like our politics are most analogous to like the 1910s, like all in terms of the Gilded Age, in terms of that. Remember, there's that long period of presidents between like Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. We were like, wait, like who was president? Like, or even even TR was like an exception where you have like Calvin Coolidge, who like Silent Cow.
So we're living through
Grover
that.
Cleveland. That's kind of how, if I think of us within history, I feel like we're in one of those times. We're just waiting.
It feels really important to us right now. Like this is the most important moment in history, but it might be...
It could just be a blip, right? A 20, 30-year blip. Like when you think about who was president between 1890 and between like 1888 and 1910. Like nobody really thinks about that period of America, but like that was an entire lifetime for people, right? Like how did they feel about the country that they were in?
That's hilarious.
That's how I kind of think about where we are.
It's funny
right
to
now.
think. I mean, I don't want to minimize it, but like we haven't really gone through a World War II style crisis. So like, say that there is a crisis in like several decades of that level, right? Existential risks to a large portion of the world. Then what will be remembered is World War II, maybe a little bit about Vietnam, and then whatever that crisis is. And this whole period that we see as dramatic, even coronavirus.
Even 9/11.
Even 9/11. It's like, because you can look at how many people died and all those kinds of things, all the drama around the war on terror and all those kinds of things. Maybe Obama will be remembered for being the first African-American president. But then, that's fascinating to think about. Oh, man. Even Trump will be like, oh, okay,
he was
cool.
That guy. Yeah. Like,
maybe he'd be remembered as the first celebrity. I mean, Reagan was already a governor, right? Yeah. So like the first apolitical celebrity that was able. So maybe if there's more celebrities in the future, they'll say that Trump was the first person to pave the way for celebrities to win. Oh man, yeah. And I still hold that this era will probably be remembered. People say I talk about Elon way too much, but the reality is like there's not many people that are doing the kind of things he's doing. Is why I talk about it. Is I think this era, it's not necessarily Elon and SpaceX, but this era will be remembered by of space exploration, of the commercial, of companies getting into space exploration, of space travel, and perhaps like artificial intelligence around social media, all those kinds of things. This might be remembered for that. But all the political bickering, all of that nonsense, that might be very well forgotten.
One way to think about it is that the internet is so young.
Yeah,
I think about
it.
Right. So Jeff Jarvis, he's a media scholar I respect. He's not the only person to say this, but many others have, which is that, look, this is kind of like the printing press. There was a whole 30 years war because of the printing press.
Yeah.
It took a long time for shit to sort out. I think that's where we're at with the internet. Like at a certain level, it disrupts everything. And that's a good thing. It can be very tumultuous. I never felt like I was living through history until coronavirus. Like, until we were all locked down, I was like, I'm living through history. Like there's this very overused cliche in DC where every comm staffer wants you to think that what their boss just did is history. And I've always been like, this isn't history. This is some like stupid fucking bill, whatever. But like that was the first time I was like, this is history. Like this right here.
Well, I was hoping, tragedy aside, that I wish the primaries happened during coronavirus so that
Right.
because like then we can see, so, okay, here's a bunch of people facing crisis, and it's an opportunity for a leader to step up. Like, I still believe the optimistic view is, the game theory of like influencers will always be defeated by actual great leaders. So like maybe the great leaders are rare, but I think they're sufficiently out there that they will step up, especially in moments of crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And coronavirus is obviously a crisis where, like, mass manufacture of tests, uh, all kinds of infrastructure building that you could have done in 2020. There's so many possibilities for just like bold action,
It makes me
and
sad.
none of that. Even just forget actually doing the action, advocating for it.
Yeah. Right.
Just saying like this, we need to do this, and none of that. Like the speeches that Biden made, I don't even remember a single speech that Biden made, because there's zero bold. I mean, their strategy was to be quiet and let Donald Trump
Polarize the electorate. Yeah.
polarize the electorate and hope that results in them winning, because of the high unemployment numbers and all those kinds of things, as opposed to like, let's go big, let's go with a big speech. Let's, that yeah, it's a lost opportunity in some sense.